Hello everybody, today I'm working on my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I am way behind, but I'm kind of a little bit thankful I'm behind because, and I'll show you why. This is where I left it off and this is the background. I haven't touched it since my last video, but I am quite pleased that I haven't touched it. Why did I put it in that? Probably so I wouldn't lose anything. That's strange, isn't it? Anyway, so this is what it was. But when I was watching, oh, that's my tool. I was going to do something with that. Can't remember what it was. I'll put it there and I'll work something out. When I was watching Rachel's video, she kept stressing the background was meant to be quilted, and it took a couple of times and it finally dawned on me. I thought, oh no, and I thought I haven't quilted my background. And then when I watched Rachel's, she changed hers because I'd followed what she'd done, sort of thing, and she hadn't quilted her background. So I need to quilt my background. So because I have not done anything to this since the first background one, I can put some wadding behind mine now. I mean, the only thing I've done is invisible stitched it. Oh, I've got a little gate here as well. That's okay. So I've got these two bits of wadding here that I can use. They're just, I think they must have been off something because they're the same size. And what I'm going to do is use these to quilt my background. And I'm just going to put a big tacking stitch on to hold it in place. And I don't normally work with tacking stitches. I mean, well, it's not very often. I won't say I don't, but not very often do I use tacking stitches. But in this case, I will, because I don't want to invisible stitch the whole lot together. That's a bit big. So I'm just going to put some wadding. What are those? In there. I'm going to do it in a really bright colour of some description so that, oh, no, colour I don't normally use, I think, so that, okay, I got, oh, that's too pale. Oh, I know what I can use. Okay, that's really bright. That's not a colour I will use often, so I'm going to use that. And just do some really big tacking stitches to hold that all together. I'll join that in a minute. What I'm going to do is just and I'll just do a couple of stitches here. To get started. I won't, it's really big stitches all over. Just to hold the wadding in place, and then I can do some like running stitch or whatever stitch I decide on the background, and that will hold it all in place. Alright, so that's done. I've got lots of big yellow tacking stitches And I also, you might just see a very faint line across there where I just joined the two pieces of the wadding together. So that's that. So now with that in place, I can get onto my composition. I'm not going to do a lot of background stitching before it's reached its final place. That's mainly because, you know, it'll be covered in certain areas and I'm behind as it is. Okay, so our composition was our little house. I was going to put it somewhere around here, I think, like that. And and I've got this roof, and I think I may use a little bit of that wadding as well behind the roof, just so they're sitting at the same height. Let's have a look what we can do here. I'll do that and then I'll trim it down if I need to. If I do that, then I can kind of take that over and that can sit like that there. And so is that a little bit big, perhaps? How's that? I'm looking in the viewfinder. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to say. I think that might be better. And a little chimney as well that I will stitch on, and I'll probably just overcast all this on. Is that what the stitch is called? I think it is. Oh, it's kind of thick now with it, but it won't be hard to stitch. I'll put that on afterwards. It won't be hard to stitch because it's just spongy sort of thing. So, okay, I'll put that there. I've got lace to attach here, a gate to attach here. What else? Oh, I wanted to put it, because I've got lace here, I thought I'd put some lace up here. And I found a little bit of lace, so I'm hoping this little bit of lace, it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's really, really old. So I'm thinking somewhere like that, just to, you know, bring it all together. I think that would be nice, but I'm going to runch it a little bit closer. It doesn't have to be nice and flat. It can be just runched a little bit, I think. How's that? Yeah, I like it. It tends to, rather than it be straight across there, tends to transition it all together a little bit better. So I think I'll be putting that there as well. And that will just be stitched on like a stab stitch, just, you know, every so often. How's that looking? Isn't that lovely lace? I love that lace. There's little blue dots on that doily. I might need to cover those with something, I think. Just so, is it the same? It's not off the doily, but I don't think it is anyway. Let me feel it. It's off something. It's slightly different, but I don't think it'll matter. Let's have a look. There's a dot there. There's a dot there, Must be one over here as well. There's a dot there, so we want 3. What I might do is just put those there. See, that'll just cover it up like that. And you won't notice those dots under there at all. There's that one. There. Okay. Just trying to get that curve a bit more in line with this curve at the top here. There we go. Now I can't see the blue dots, which is nice. And I don't mind the little bit hanging over. Oh, what size of the page is it on? It doesn't matter. It's only a little bit on either side, so even if there's a page that way, it'll just flip up a bit. That's okay. That will be fine. Okay, so what I think I will do is a running stitch on the ticking fabric going across horizontal. Hello, Bella. And a running stitch on this one here, but going vertical. Stab stitch the little bit of doily in place. I'll start with that colour. Is that the right colour? I don't know if you can hear. My cat is sat behind me purring really loudly. She is part, this one's Bella, it's not Molly. She is part Burmese and part Burman. And the Burmese are known for, they burr, they go brr, like that. And she does it ever so sweetly. And she's not much of a social cat. So it's always nice when she comes and says hello. Whereas Molly's all over people. She's very social. Oh my goodness. I only got a little bit of sleep last night and I'm really tired, but I want to get this done. I'm not a daytime napper person, so I'll just persevere till bedtime. There we go. Hello. Oh, you're lovely. Oh, lovely girl. Okay, so just do I run it right on the edge? I might put it right on the edge just to hold everything in place. And so just a running stitch along the end here, along the ticking I should say. Yep. And I'm doing it fairly large, trying not to make too much work for myself this time around. Can I guess. That'll, once it's stitched, it'll squish the quilting, the batting down, and it should feel really nice then. I was a bit worried but that I'd have to, you know, what I was going to do. So, and when Rachel said she was just going to put some batting or something behind hers, I thought that is such a good idea. That's what I'm going to do too. So there's always a way. I mean, you know. Okay, so just a running stitch, and I'll keep going with that, and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've done the running stitch across the ticking, down on this doily across there. I've overcast the little cottage on. It's so messy. I'm calling it a rustic cottage. It's a little bit old and run down. I'm leaving it. It was actually because I think this one was easy to sew on. But this piece here, because it had the backing fabric as well, it was a little bit tough to get through. So I'm just going to stab stitch this little doily into place now. I'm using a lighter colour thread for this, and I'm just randomly, okay, I'll probably go around the outer edge, then through the middle, and then along, maybe 2 along the inner edge. So oh oh, that's where that little blue dot was, so it's a double layer of fabric. Of course I got it there. I don't know, my fingers can't take much more of that. So I'm just doing that and just coming up. It's just large stitches, but the large stitch is on the back, so you're only getting little stitches on the front, a bit like the invisible stitch. And because it's the same colour as the doily, you won't notice it at all. And that's what I'm going to do now. And then I'll probably sew this little bit of lace on down the bottom here. I'll use a machine thread to do that. And I'll stitch the gate on. The gate, I may do some cross stitches over the outer edges, and then maybe just some little stitches on the inner part, like maybe a small running stitch in various places on the inner part. Then what? I didn't do anything on this part yet. I'll wait until I've done a bit of embroidery for that and see what it looks like, and probably maybe a little bit of seed stitching or something there. It might not need anything, but I'll see what happens when I come to that. So I'll go sew this on, and the lace and the gate, and then I'll be back. And I'm in 2 minds as to whether to stitch these on, these little doors and things, or embroider them on, because they're quite small, and I don't want to be using the bonder stuff because it's too hard for me. So I'll be back once I've sewn this on. Okay, it's a little bit later now. I had to go and make dinner and everything, and I think I'll take these tacking stitches out. And I need to do some little, like a little path leading up to the cottage as well. Ugh. Okay, I'll just turn the camera off and take all this yellow thread out. So that's all been taken out now. A little path. This green is just a little bit fluffy. I'm hoping it will settle down as I stitch over the top. I'm just trying to see if I have something here that might be good for some sort of little path. Not really. It's very dark in here because it's later now. But I'd like to try and get a fair amount of this done. Just looking for, oh, that's nice. Oh, I do like those, but I don't think they will work. Maybe a little bit. I love the colour of this. This is beautiful fabric. You know, isn't it lovely? I think I found this thrifting. I honestly can't remember where I got this. Timeless Treasures fabric. Isn't it beautiful? It was in one of my cubes. It's just lovely. Okay, so there's a little piece there. Oh, I'm just, because if you only take like a snippet of it, you won't even notice that that is half a lady. Or that little bit there, perhaps. I'm actually looking for an end. What might be easier to take something from. There's a bit there, look. I could use a bit of this. I only need a tiny bit. Let's have a look. This piece has got a bit of a hem on it. And there's plenty of other images on this fabric, so I don't have to worry that I'm cutting into one of them. It's got a little hem on it as well. I'm wondering what they were, whether there were sheets. But it's still got the selvage on it. So I don't know. But it's just lovely. See, it only needs to be a little piece, doesn't it? And that coming down, it kind of has to go down there. Like, okay. I don't know if I needed to do that or not, to be honest. So the door is going to be in the middle, so kind of about there. It won't come straight over there because it goes down, really. Like that. That's probably a bit long, but we'll see. I was going to try and do little cobblestones, but I think a path might work better to keep things tied down. Like that. I don't know though, I could be completely wrong about that. Let's have a look. See, really, I should have put this on first. Where's my door? door, my windows. I think that is what do you think? I think that could work. I wonder if that. Like that. I think that might be a bit better that way around. I think, yeah. I think so, but I think there might have to be something between the door and the top of it. Like just a little bit of a break, perhaps. Like that. Got rid of it all there, didn't I? Yeah, and it's got to have flowers around it and things like that as well. I think that might be all right, and I'll have some flowers coming out there and some larger ones a bit at the front, but not too many large ones. A little pink flower here, you know, could add that in. Little tiny ones around the house. And then here, what have we got? We've got this. See, it's darker here. I'll have to play. I want to get that on. Let's move the windows and things for the time being. I want to get, see, the flowers I can do with the embroidery. Get the path on and just put some more stitches in this green so it looks more like that little part there rather than really, really loose, I think. So I'm going to do some little stab stitches. I might do that in the grey. That would be all right. And just leave a little gap at the top there, just so there's a bit of a space. I can always what was I saying? I'm going to overcast it first. and then do some little stitches in the center. That has been done. What I did, instead of stab stitching, I just did 3 little stitches every now and again, just like, you know, when you see little drawings and things like that, and they have, it kind of depicts a little bit of grass, sort of, you know, a couple of little stitches. Well, I've just done that in various little places to hold that down, and I think that will work. I also did a little bit of tulle across the top there to soften that top edge. There will be embroidery in the next video, and that will cover up a lot of the not so tidy looking things now. I did put some tulle here. It's only pinned on, kind of like a wispy bit of smoke coming from the chimney. I'm undecided. Let me know in the comments if you think I should go ahead with a bit of smoke coming from the chimney, because it looked a bit plain up here, really. That is, there's a little lip there, as you can see. I can get my finger. I think I'll do some little flowers coming out of there, along with some, you know, flowers across the front there and around the house. The house, it is messy stitching, but I don't mind it. I really don't. I think I will allow this one. Not that I'm having much choice. I'm going to leave it. I kind of like it. It's just a little cottage. It's very whimsical, so I think it'll be fine once it's all done. I did couch the door on. I couched, although a bit of the fluff from the wadding pulled through a bit by the look of it. There we go. I did a cross over the windows to hold that into place, and I couched the chimney as well. And of course I did a few stitches around that, and I quite like the way the little pathway looks. It's got a cobbly stone type of appearance to it. So I've got a random little dot up here from a flower, which is annoying me. So there's like a vine thing on the background fabric here. Maybe I will just take it up and have a little vine of flowers coming around like that or something, just so it's not sat up there all by itself. And some flowers around here too, just to get that background settled down. But flowers here, flowers going in here around the little cottage up there, and that will probably be it. But that the embroidery comes next in the next video. I may do something here, I'm not sure. And then the one after that will be completion. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I do hope it's not too long. And let me know about the puff of smoke coming from the chimney, won't you? It's just a nice little bit of dimension. Take care, everybody.